what an amazing concept. I'm always excited about the doors on concept vehicles, but more exciting is it's been a long time since the new Navigator came out, and it's going to be, I'm guessing, a big margin driver for you guys.
Well, it's an important product for us. It's the Navigator. People have the highest familiarity of Lincoln from the Navigator name. We have a very loyal owner base, and we're actually growing our sales. And actually, the largest growth in the last 3 years has been in the 25 to 44-year-old age group. So this is the Navigator concept, and it gives you a very strong indication for the new Navigator that's coming next year, with the exception of the gull wing doors. That's for the concept.
Well, we can work on something around the doors. Last year, the smash hit was the Lincoln Continental concept. It's now coming out in production form, very close to what it looked like. You've invested a lot in this brand. What does Lincoln mean for Ford Motor Company?
Well, it means a lot. When you look at the auto industry, the luxury market around the world, it's about 10% of the total industry, but represents a third of the profits. So, clearly it's really important, not only from a profitability standpoint to be there, but we've grown our Ford business so much over the last 5 or 7 years. When customers are ready to go and move to a luxury vehicle, we want to be there for them with a great Lincoln brand that's differentiated and relevant versus the other competitors.
I know that almost 2/3 of your profits come from this country, but you're growing like gangbusters in China. Lincoln's a name that a lot of the Chinese are familiar with, and a lot of the investment, you're investing, what, $5 billion in Lincoln. A lot of that investment's going towards opening up dealerships in China. How is the growth there? Because a lot of people are a little bit worried about whether or not we're in for a soft landing.
Well, when you look at the Chinese economy, it's getting off to a good start beginning of this year. The car market cooled off last year, but we've seen some stabilization and some growth the first couple of months of this year, so that's good news. Our Lincoln brand is doing very well. We launched at the end of 2014. We sold over 11,000 Lincolns last year with just 2 models and less than 25 dealers, and that has been the fastest growth they've seen for a luxury brand in a long time. We're going to have 60 dealers in 50 cities by the end of this year with a full lineup, including the new Continental that's coming there as well. So we're really encouraged by the reception from Chinese consumers.
The reception here in the U.S. to the F-150, the new F-150 was great. You have sales in Europe bouncing back. South America is still kind of a crisis, but overall, the industry is running hot right now. Are you concerned that we are running too hot, that we are set up for a downfall here?
Well, we think the current economic conditions, barring any kind of fiscal or external shock, the next couple of years can be very supportive of automotive sales. And the reason, we're looking at the data. We're looking at wage growth. We're looking at income growth. We're looking at labor growth. We're looking at consumer confidence. Then we're looking at the physicals of the business. When you look at the average age of a vehicle in the market here in the U.S., it's 11 and a half years old.
Still.
So every year, there's going to be some replacement demand. And people were talking earlier this year about recession, but the data's not telling us that. It's things like we've never gone into a recession here in the U.S. without unemployment going up. We're not seeing that. So, we feel pretty good about the market, albeit we're always on the lookout for any data that's telling us differently.
You have Bob Shanks in an article yesterday talking about Ford's readiness for any kind of downturn. Not that you necessarily expect one, but you've put the company on a much stronger financial footing than it previously had been. How do you feel about your preparedness?
Well, I think we feel pretty good about that. We're going to continue to work on it. We've gotten our break-even levels down here in the U.S. to about 11 million units of the industry, and as you said, the industry last year was about 18 million units. We want to make sure that when the next downturn comes, we don't know when it's going to happen, but there's always going to be economic cycles and business cycles, that we're ready for it, that we're able to stay profitable and also maintain our dividend. That's our goal, and that's what we're working towards.
Is this concern about a downturn the reason we don't see growth in the equity? Because you're making almost $1 billion a month in pre-tax profit. The market is at an all-time high. You're taking market share, and yet the stock doesn't seem to gain.
Well, I think there's concerns about there, as you said, what's going to happen with the marketplace, concerns about China. Listen, we think our stock is undervalued, but we're not getting discouraged. We think the market is underestimating the strength of the U.S. market, the car market. They're underestimating our record financial performance last year, our improvement in our international operations, the strengthening of our balance sheet. We just got upgraded again from Moody's and S&P, and underestimating our iconic products. But we're going to just stay very focused on the 4 things that really drive shareholder value: growing our revenues, expanding our margins, reducing the risk profile of the business, and continuing to reward our shareholders.
All right. Hey, Mark, thanks so much. Mark
Cool.
Fields, CEO of the Ford Motor Company, introducing a new Lincoln.